let's see here. Let's drop that top. And there we go back to dark mode. Welcome. Welcome, Worm. Welcome. Welcome, everyone, to RPG Wednesdays. So we're concluding RPG Wednesdays. I just got done role-playing a little bit, which I'll talk about on Discussing Tabletop, a two-shot we're running with a bunch of people in the, False Pretenses community. A bunch of people I'm, doing some stuff with, so cool. It was fun. I volunteered for it, so it's my own torment here. I'm not going to interrupt too much content from you folks out there. But regardless, we can talk about that on Discussing Tabletop. For today, though, we're going to conclude RPG Wednesday. We already had our little Fallout stream. Again, as I said earlier, scheduling today kind of threw me for a loop with some watching of my niece and stuff, so expect some videos and such tomorrow to catch up on that end, and sort of getting back to a normal schedule up until PAX Unplugged next week. We will have RPG Wednesday next week, even with that. We're going to dive into Character Creation Corner, though, because why not? It's the best place. It's where we always start. So today, I'm going to be making two characters, a Pathfinder DROW fighter. I'm going to be making the Cave Sniper class Cave Fighter, racial archetype for the DROW. And then I'm making a Bruja, or a Bruja, depending on how you want to pronounce it for Vampire. I know there's a camp for each of them, and they hate the other ones. Cool. Let me readjust the chat window here. I'm going to move it over a little bit here. So, yeah, I've got it that you folks there at home can see as people chat with me. You'll get the comments above here for you people on the VODs on YouTube. So if an interesting comment occurs, hey, you get to see it too. Got that working. Alright. Let's dive into Pathfinder character sheet. Awesome! So it looks like, yeah, tomorrow, Wednesdays are going to be really fun when I do it. So this time it's going to be DROW character. So of course I'm playing a DROW, if I can spell that right. And then, it's a humanoid with subtype. Do they have subtype elf or subtype DROW? Shoot. Elf subtype. Gosh. Elf. I'm going to try to do a few different things today with it, just so that I can give you some more examples of how you do some stuff when it comes to building characters. Because I've built 3 characters already, and adding a little bit more variety each time, I think, adds to the entire setup. So what we're going to do here with this DROW, I did have an idea. I'm not going to do an evil DROW, just because that's quintessential, and we're not going to go too good. I'm thinking I'm going to do a lawful neutral DROW this time. And we're going to do female? I think we've been switching back and forth between genders. So I'm thinking we're female. We're not worried about any of this stuff. Deity, homeland, occupation, all this stuff. Languages. Alright. Also, we're not going to be making directly a DROW noble. It is an option that a dungeon master / game master, well, in this case, Pathfinder Game Master, could allow you to create a DROW noble rather than just a normal DROW. Oh wow, everything minimized. That still exists? Yes. I don't know why everything minimized, but it did on me. So we'll just do this one at a time so I can fix this up, so I can watch things here. Hey, it's working again. Not in such a position that I enjoy that I can check that there. Okay. Whew. Yes, let's check up on DROW. Which... I'm going to shrink these a little bit and readjust them on stream. Sorry. I had them... God, that's not what I want to do. In a certain way. That was good for me. Character. Let's just readjust that. Sorry. Trying to make this a little more manageable for me. So I can do things like that. And that is just not in the position I want it to be. You know, it's been a long day, and you'll have to forgive me for a couple of mistakes here and there. I'm going to try not to make too many. Oh, that looks nice then. Okay, ability scores. So 2 Dex, 2 Charisma, 2 minus 2 Constitution. Now, where's the notes about that? Oh, up here. You can see here's the Drow Noble notes right here. It says that we would have had a much more dexterity, still the minus to Constitution, bonus to all the mentals, plus a bunch of other things that make them inherently better. The difference between, for racial points, which we're not going to dive into, but racial points are used to help build races when you're designing your own. 14 for standard Drow, 41, which is a lot, for noble. So we're not doing noble. At most, we will look to the feats and racial feats if we're looking at those, if we want to do noble that way, and take the noble feat chains. What we're going to focus on is normal Drow, female this time, so we are female, and we are going to be probably exiled, we're going to say. But let's switch back to the character sheet then, because we know what our base information is. So, we get a bonus to dexterity. 2. We get a penalty to constitution. -2. And our charisma goes up by 2. Those are our ability scores. Now we're going to play Fighter. Fighter could easily... I could throw 14s in all the physicals and be really good. I could throw a 16 into strength and be pretty good. I'd only have a 12 constitution though. Now the fact is I could also tank some stuff out here because of the nature of Fighter. I don't need intelligence, wisdom, and charisma necessarily, but tanking them out can be kind of difficult. I don't necessarily want to do that because it's punishing in a way. Now, getting a 12 constitution, is it grand? No. Is it decent? It's better than nothing. It's not going to be super great, but for an elf, that's not bad. So I could easily look to put a 14 here. I'm going to put a 12 here. And then a 14 here. To start out with. So I've spent 12 points. For another 5, I could have a 16 in strength. I can also get a 16 in dexterity very easily. By going a route of all physicals, 16, 16, 12. Well, what kind of fighter are we? We're being a sniper, which means we are not necessarily focusing on, we're focusing on more in range, and it is with bows or crossbows, meaning we could do a crossbow or bow, and bow is better suggested because we will be able to add our strength as a bonus. So what I think I want to do here is do a couple of little tweaks. We're going to make this a 14. That'll give us 14, 16, 12. Decent constitution. Our dex is pretty good. Our strength is a +2 bonus. That's pretty good too. We are pretty decent now around there, but we still have 5 points left. Where do we spend them? Well, since we will have stealth-based skills, maybe extra skill points might not be a bad idea. The wisdom's not important. The charisma's not really important. But we can easily do 12, 12, 11. 14, 16, 12, 12, 12, 13. We're just slightly better at everything, but we're really decent at dexterity. We're pretty decent at dexterity. Is this the strongest character we could have built? No. Is it a character that has some advantages? Yes, because we don't have a necessary weakness. We don't have huge advantages either. That +1 that I'm sacrificing not to dexterity could possibly make a difference in certain situations. Having 18 decks could have been very possible. I could have easily built that in just by a couple of tweaks to my DROW here. But a 16 is still really good. So I think I like what we have there. So we're going to be a fighter. And then it's going to be Cavern Sniper. So this will be our last, at least right now, level 1 character we're going to do. Just in general principle. D10s for fighters. I'll show you some information there. We'll pop over to PFSRD. We don't need any DROW stuff right now necessarily. Fighter, D10s. You know, why don't we take our normal sort of route though and do all the racial stuff for DROW first. So, we got our ability scores. We got our size, base speed's the same, weapon familiarity. We don't have to worry about that. We are going to be fighters. All those, I think hand crossbow is the only thing that we're getting. That's an extra proficiency, but we're not using that. So, we do want to move over. We have immunities and spell resistance. Keen senses, spell-like abilities, poison use, superior dark vision, light blindness. Now, I am thinking of taking, for one of our feats, DROW Noble. We will be taking the feat chain for DROW Noble, which means we do want to keep the spell-like abilities. So whatever we get, we cannot replace spell-like abilities. Keen senses, seduction and treachery are tools, so we get rid of our perception. Perception's useful. As a stealthy person that's sneaking up, sniping people, perception's very good. Ancestral grudge, we're not really killing those. No blasphemy. No demon lords. Sorry. Oof. Long day. Defensive training against aberrants. Not worth it. Poison minion, no. Seducer? It replaces drow immunities. Saving throw DCs for enchantment. And we don't have the wisdom, so I don't think that's a great one to have. Stalker. That replaces the spell-like abilities, which is not a bad thing. Stalker is actually not bad. But the problem is, because of something we're building, it doesn't really fit. Surface Infiltrator, I think I want to take. So we will have Surface Infiltrator, and that's going to replace our Dark Vision and our Light Blindness. So we don't have our Superior Light. So let's, we'll take our list here. We have Immunities, Spell Resistance, Keen Senses, Spell-like abilities, poison use, and then surface dweller, or dazzled. What's dazzled do? Let's click on dazzled and see what it does. Dazzled, -1 to attack rolls and sight-based perception. From a light blindness. Bright light, bright sunlight, or within the radius of daylight. That's light, or light blindness is such as sunlight or daylight spell. I mean, Spirit Dark Vision gives you 120 feet, which is actually really good. But in replace of it, I also have that light blindness, which we'd have -1 to our attack rolls effectively if we're outside during the day, which we might have to worry about. But not all the time. A lot of battles take indoors, in caves, in dungeons. I think what we're going to do, we're going to keep all these. I consider that a lot, but let's switch back to the character sheet. I did consider it a good amount, you know? let's add, this will be immunities. And it's going to be a racial trait. And we're going to have spell resistance. And it's also going to be a racial trait. So the immunities will be that we've got like the elven immunities. Can't be put to sleep. Bonuses against enchantments and effects. Spell resistance is equal to 6 plus our total number of class levels. So in this case, we have spell resistance 7. Is that great? No. Is that enough that it might actually catch some things off guard? Yeah. We might avoid some spells with that. So we have keen senses, which is also racial trait, which gives a +2 bonus to perception. Let's put that in right now, just so we remember it. Perception. Which one's racial bonus? First column. Awesome. Ooh. There I go again with the yawning. Ooh. Spell-like abilities. I might have butchered that spelling. Poison use. Cool. And superior dark vision. Well, technically, I want to superior dark vision. Now, just to show you kind of what I would do, I would go into the other page here. Let me show it. See, I'd go in here, highlight this, copy it. Then I would go back here, go to description. That's all I would do to get the description of any of these abilities. And this would be if I'm using this for Roll20. If I'm using this on a just general character sheet, let's say this is the character sheet I'm writing up. Good night. I wouldn't worry about the actual writing necessarily. What I would have called this here was just, I would just put dark vision 120 feet for this one here. For the poison use, I would just write down poison use. I just write down the spell-like abilities as to what they actually are. If those abilities would be, in this case, something I would have. Ugh. Sometimes this sheet is not great for a lot of things that you have to have it do. So there we go. We have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 racial traits. Yeah, 7 racial traits. Cool. Oh, Jesus. So let's go back over here. Oh, fighter. Bonuses to disarm, reposition, combat maneuver. Add 1/3 to when attempting this maneuver, max of +4. That's not great. That's not a great one. So we're just not gonna bother with that. I will be taking the DROW nobility feat. It is the only one I can start out with because I only have the one feat, and the other feat has to be a combat feat, which DROW nobility is certainly not a combat feat. Let's look at fighter. Alright. In +2, a bonus feat, full base attack, fort save +2, 2+ intelligence modifier, skill points. Let's dive back to our character sheet and start entering some of this stuff. We'll go back to core. D10 hit points. So class hit points would be 10. What do we have? Favorite class hit points. Oh, do you want to do hit points or skill points for favorite class? Now, so I can call at least 2 skills I'm going to need. I think it's favorite class skill we're going to take. Skills per level 2. Base attack of 1. Fortitude of 2. So we have 11 hit points. Our initiative bonus is 3. Our base speed is 30. Cool. Excellent. So we have all the basics there. Let's go back to let's go to skills. We'll sort of run down the character sheet. We've got the hit points done. average gold is 175. Let's throw that over to equipment. Just so we note it. Well, I could have rolled for all this also if I really wanted to. The skills are the following. You can take climb as a fighter. Handle animal. Intimidate. Knowledge dungeoneering. Knowledge engineering. Profession. Ride. Survival and swim. Oof. Wake up! Wake up! Oh, woo! Hope Worm got it. Worm, you get your internet working, man? Hopefully you did. Does my support message come up on my stream? The Nightbot's little, like, thing where it throws it out? I wonder. Okay. Whew. So we will have 2 feats that we're going to have to determine. That's nice. Let's look at Cavern Sniper. I'm looking at Cavern Sniper right now. So it's going to replace the first level. I add stealth and removes intimidate. So I'll go over to the character sheet. Remove intimidate. Add stealth. Cool. Imbued shot. I replaced the first level bonus feat that it would get. Okay. Gains the ability to imbue his arrows with bolts with either one of the Fairy Fire, Darkness, or Deep Ignite spell-like abilities. Swift action. Interesting. Sure. We have imbued shot. So let's go back over here. Class features. Now, there is something to say of working on the fighting feats other than focusing on the drow noble. To go like point blank shot and then maybe like things like precise shot and other various arrow based feats, especially if we are a ranged attacks with being a sniper. But we're just being stealthy. We are built more to be a stealther, but we're also not bad in melee if we need to do that. Granted, we get a lot of bonuses towards bow or crossbow. But I do think that taking the feat Drow Noble will be pretty awesome. Because some of the abilities we're going to get are great. Right now, it's really technically Drow Nobility, which we get, this is the feat here. You can use Detect Magic as a spell-like ability at will. Featherfall and Levitate you can use once per day. Now, this adds on to our already previous spell-like abilities of Dancing Lights, Fairy Fire, and Darkness once per day. So now, we've just gained... We can Detect Magic at will. And then Levitate and Fairy Fall. Those are pretty cool ones to have. We don't have to worry about falling with Featherfall. Granted, we can only use it once per day, but even Levitate is pretty good once per day. I float from the first floor to the second floor to the third floor. Oh, look at that. I can climb a building really easily. Or climb a cliff wall. Or something of the similar. So we've actually made our choice of our feat. Wow. We're chugging this out. So we have to do our equipment still. And we have to do our traits. Trait here. So our attacks we don't really worry about right now. Defenses we've got done. We got our skills. Oh, we should have 4 skill points. All right, what are we going to put it in? Let's put 1, of course, into stealth. That's going to be an important one. I'm thinking perception will be an important one, so we'll put 1 there. No, let's not do survival. Nah, that's not one that's going to fit with the thing we've developed. I like engineering. Is it great in this situation? No, but I like engineering as a skill enough that I might throw 1 point into there. about climb? Climb's probably a really useful one. There we go. All right. Now there are some things we want. We want proficiency in perception, but that might not be something we can get. But we had skills. We're gonna wait on doing equipment. Let's talk about traits. We got our Cavern Sniper ability. We got the imbued arrows. Trait DROW. Let's see what we got. It's a racial feat. Oh no, we want trait DROW traits. Arcane progeny, poisonous upbringing. Those seem to be the two DROW that we have. Perception, but we also want. Let me go back to the Pathfinder site so you see. I also want a perception trait. I'm going to do 2 traits. Now you may ask, what the frick is a trait? Well, trait's an option that your game master can give you. That at first level you get 2 traits. Well, they can also give you 1. They can give you more. They're like half a feat. Best way to describe it. They're technically a little less than that, but that's the easiest way to describe it. Let's hear Seeker. Always look out for ward and danger. Gain 1+1 perception, and perception's always a class. Always class skill. Once per day, as an immediate action, you can double the duration of one of your spell-like abilities as if it extended spell magic effects. Oh, Arcane Prodigy. I kind of like Arcane Prodigy and Seeker. Yeah, I kind of like these abilities. Arcane Prodigy and Seeker are really cool. So let's go under traits. And let's add a Seeker. It's a trait. And Arcane Prodigy. I probably spelled that horribly wrong. I kind of know I spelled it wrong. So the Arcane Prodigy means I can just double one of the durations of one of my spell-like abilities, which I have a lot of, once per day, which is very helpful. This one gives me a +1 over here, and gives me a that. So now we have an 8 perception, a 7 stealth. Woo! We're really great at perception. We're pretty good at stealth. We've really built ourselves up to be pretty decent at these kind of things. We are the shadow in the night. But those are traits. The little things that add just a little bit. Oh, gosh. Now for spending money. Whew. We do want to actually spend some money on some things. We have 175. We do want some armor. And we do want some weapons. Both are very helpful in taking care of all the problems we have. Come on. Why are you not at the right selected thing? Stuff's been weird lately on a bunch of sites. It's not helpful. Huh. Let's do that so I can get to equipment. Because it's not showing up otherwise. Weird. Oh, it's one of those weird days. We're just going to buy weapons and armor. That's it. So let's take a look over here on weapons. Well, let's look at armor first. We have 100. Well, let's look at our bow first. So that's a martial range. We want to get a longbow. We want to get a composite longbow, which will be 100 of our gold. Wow. We're already eating that up. Now, granted, we're not doing any extra damage, but that means it's that much more affordable. Sorry. I prefer bows to crossbows normally, though I know some people that prefer crossbows. Armor and shields. If we get stud leather armor, it's 25. That'll be 100. We can get a buckler for 5. 105. Longsword? Rapier? Rapier's a pretty good one. And we'd be proficient with it. And it would be one-handed in case we need to switch things up a little bit. Which is 20. Okay, cool. So, 25 plus 100 plus 25. We just spent 150. We're going to have 3 armor, 2 shields, and then a longbow, and we're going to have armor 3, 2. Oh, it's not going to let me add it in. Okay. Go to equipment type. Armor. AC bonus of 3. Max dex penalty on leather armor. Or stud leather armor. It's plus 3 plus 5 minus 1. An AC penalty of minus 1. Yep. That's good. It's 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 good. Buckler is plus 1 minus 1. Okay. So it's a buckler. Wow. 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 Armor attributes. So max dex doesn't exist. Armor check penalty minus 1. Armor bonus 1. Defenses. We now have... Oh, set his armor, set his shield. There we go. Whew. Trying to figure that out is a little... So we have an AC of 17. First level character, AC of 17. So, the character we just finished building, it's got a long sword, long bow. What do we want to describe this as? This is a drow. Not necessarily born into a noble family, but has been unlocking some of the abilities of being drow nobility as she's gotten older. But she had actions which drove her from drow society. She also had a code of ethics that was different than many drow. Basically what made her lawful in her own way, different from others. And so she has been banished and must make her living on the surface, using her training as being a shadow in the night and striking forth against her enemies. Wow. I was originally planning to go like 2 for streaming, but I'm already feeling exhausted. I think this character is good. We have 25 gold left. Let me just write down weapon and armor. Long sword. It's a weapon. Longbow. Also weapon. And this is a weapon or shield. Woo! Ooh. 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 Cool. Excellent. I think we're done our Pathfinder character. It took us about half an hour to get this guy done. Or, I'm sorry, this girl done. As I said, she was originally part of Drow society, part of the matriarchal structure. But in an incident that she probably doesn't talk about, she ended up being banished from them. And so she was left up on her own devices, headed to the surface where she's made a living, using her abilities to hunt down those. Ooh, God. Oh.